guys, so I thought I would share with everybody the books I am thinking to bring with me on vacation. I unfortunately have a lot of books here that I have to narrow down. So far, when I had already filmed this video once, unfortunately it was too long. And so I did narrow it down and got rid of 2 books, and that was Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. See this one. And John Adams' biography by David McCullough. But yeah, I've always been interested in this, the whole American Revolution and the Civil War and everything, and so I wanted to read about John Adams. And plus, one of my favorite stage musicals is 1776, which is about the creation of the Declaration of Independence, and one of the main protagonists of that is John Adams. And so, and actually in the movie version, a little fact, in the movie version, he is played by William Daniels, who played Mr. Feeney in Boy Meets World, which I just realized something, that the high school, not only is it the same actor, but the school where Corey, Topanga, and Sean and Eric all go to school is called John Adams High, the high school that they go to. But I think the story is set in Pennsylvania, though. I'm not 100% sure about that. But it's kind of interesting because John Adams is from Massachusetts, and yet they call the high school. So maybe the school is actually maybe it's a Massachusetts school. Maybe they live in Massachusetts and not Pennsylvania. But yeah, anyway, so I was able to, and plus those are heavy, big books, so I might save those for when I get back. Okay, so the 3 I definitely have to bring with me because they are books that I need to finish are the 3rd book in the Fallen Kingdom series, Gathering Darkness. I'm up to chapter 5 right now, so this is definitely one I need to bring with, or not chapter 5, chapter 4. So I definitely need to bring this one with me. And this one I'm hoping to get done in the next 4 days. So I'm going to have to do a lot of reading in the rest of today and tomorrow and Monday and Tuesday. Because I'm trying to get it done so I won't have to bring it with me on vacation. Because I can't narrow these books down. There's just too many books. But it's hard to, but at the same time I want to bring all these books with me. Okay, so this next one is an epic family saga with romance in it called Roses by Leah Meacham. And this is about a Texas family that own a plantation that they say is cursed. Now, don't think supernatural type curse. It's more like certain members of the family become obsessed with the plantation. And it becomes like they are completely devoted to it and neglect everything else. And the book starts with the father having died, and in his will, he has given the plantation to his daughter, and not his wife. And this creates a rift in the family. But the daughter she's actually a little pleased that he has given her the plantation because she's come to care for this plantation as much as her father has. And she wants to run it and everything and take over and all that. And the guy who loves her is persuading her to be, I bet I can convince you to give up this plantation, running the plantation over, and want to be with me instead. But unfortunately, he has not been successful in that. And this has driven a wedge between not just her and her family, but between him and her as well. And so far, it's a really interesting book, and I definitely want to continue it, so I'm going to bring this with me. It's kind of compared to Gone with the Wind in its epicness and the romance and stuff. And actually, the protagonist, Mary Tolver, kind of reminds me of Scarlett O'Hara in her, she's a selfish human being, but you also can't help but like her at the same time. And that actually kind of reminds me of not the protagonist, she's not the protagonist, but the character of Peggy Shippen Arnold. She reminds me of that character in here. No, she's not the protagonist in the book. The protagonist is actually her maidservant, who is a made-up character. The rest of a lot of everything else in that book is fact, but it's also fictionalized fact, which, if that makes any sense. So I'm gonna continue with that one. And the rest of these books are like books that have a good, I want to take them with me, but then I might have to narrow them down again. I might have to see, okay, which of these books do I really, that I don't absolutely have to take with me. Okay. This one might be one of the ones I might leave behind. This is about the whole, War of the Roses, which is a famous medieval war between two feuding families, the York family and the Lancaster family. And this is actually what kind of inspired George R. R. Martin's Song of Ice and Fire series, with the Lannisters and what are they called? The Lannisters and what is it? What is their family called? The Starks. The Starks, that's their family name. So yeah, so I've been wanting to read this. I might leave, but this might be one of the books I might leave and read when I get back. So I might leave that one. Next, I have here this one. This is one of the 5 books that I bought the other day from Books A Million. This is A Phantom of the Opera retelling, which it looks like from the cover, it's kind of a gender swap storyline where the Phantom character is actually a female character. And there's something about her voice, like whenever she sings, something happens. I don't know, something. So this is what I'm considering. Next, so I've already read this series, but I'm currently rereading it, and the last book in the series, in the main series, because the author has since written other books, like she wrote a prequel called Ferris, and she's also writing a graphic novel series, Wires the Nerve, which is about the character of Aiko, who is an android. But this is the 3rd book in the series, and it's my favorite one of the series, and I have been wanting to, so I've already got, like I said, I bought the last one already, and now I can officially start reading this one. So I want to bring this one as well. So at least I narrowed it down. I took off one book off of there. Next is I need to continue with this one. This is another one I'm kind of in the middle of, and that's The Secret History. And I'm almost to book 2 in the book, because I think it's like divided into 2 books. So I'm almost on book 2. I think I'm one of those people that will probably, one of those few people that will probably like both this one and her other book, The Goldfinch, which I bought and is on my shelf. At the bottom, you can't see it. It's one of the beige yellow books. But yeah, I want to continue this. I might bring this one with me. I'm gonna bring that one with me. And next, I've been hearing some of my non-American booktubers have brought up Sarah Waters quite a bit, and so I remember seeing this at the bookstore, and I jumped at the chance of getting it because I remember this is the Paying Guest book, which is about set in the 20s, a mother and a daughter own the work and own this like inn, and these mysterious guests that seem so wonderful and glamorous show up at their inn. But of course, things go wrong and everything. And I'm wondering if it has some same-sex representation. I don't know though. Something gives me that impression that it might go in that direction. But I don't know. I might be totally wrong. But that would be really awesome if it did. Because I never, I just find books that I like. I don't go seeking out books that have same-sex plot lines, romances. So if it has it in there, then that will be awesome. If that kind of homosexual representation in this book, then that would be awesome. Because, like I said, I don't seek those books out. Just if I happen to read a book that has it in there, that's awesome. If I don't, I don't. And I'm not saying you shouldn't read diversely, but, if I can't relate to it, I'm also not going to be inclined to buy those books. And I'm just being honest. So I'm not going to dwell on that, because I don't want you guys to focus on that. But that'd be really cool if it didn't have that in there. Be a nice little surprise. So this, I heard recently, was going to be made into a TV show, I think. So I decided I need to jump in and go ahead and start reading this. And this is about this woman who wakes up surrounded by all these dead bodies, and she receives a message, like a letter from herself, telling her that she's part of the secret society, the secret group of people in England who fight, the monsters and the demons and all that kind of stuff. So, but she has no memory, and the woman, herself is telling her that she can either walk away from this life, or she can stick with it and find out what happened, and why she doesn't remember. So yeah, I want to read this one, especially since it's a possible TV show. So that one I think might come with me as well. And then here are the next two books. Now the next several books. This is a Hazelwood. I have been constantly hearing about this book. And I finally, when I was at the bookstore, I finally had the urge to pick it up. So I grabbed it, and it doesn't have a paperback edition. So, but I think, sometimes I'm kind of pleased that there's no paperback edition, because if there's a paperback edition, then I'll feel obligated to buy the paperback because it is cheaper. But if it doesn't have the paperback and you have no choice, then, I'll feel a tiny bit less guilty. I've been hearing a lot about this. This is about a girl who, her grandmother writes these mysterious fairy tales, and her grandmother always warned her not to go into the Hazelwood, and as if it was real. And then her grandmother dies, and her mother is kidnapped, and it turns out that her grandmother's stories are based on reality, based on actual place and all that. And she gets mixed up and all that kind of stuff. So, I've been wanting to read this one. So, I think I'm going to bring this one as well. Oh, Sophie, you're making noises. Why are you making noises? So, next, I have here A Gallery of Shadows, which is the second book in the Shades of Magic trilogy. Although, I heard that she's going to be writing more books. So, I don't know if it's... maybe she's going the same route as Sarah J. Maas, where it's part of the series, but it's not the same characters. So, it's looking at different people. So, I don't know. So, I don't know if that is, part of, So, it's, I guess, But yeah, I'm thinking about bringing this one because I want to get the third book in the trilogy when I go see my grandma, because she has a Barnes and Noble near her, and I want to use the gift. And I think I want to use the gift card that I got for Christmas, and this in the third book being one of the books I use to buy it. I buy it with a gift card. So I'm gonna bring this one as well. I mean, I might still be able to narrow it down, but it's very hard to do that. I mean, at least I know I got rid of 3, and I might potentially get rid of 4, because like I said, I'm trying to get the Traitors Wife read in the next 4 days. Now, this one is a Beauty and the Beast retelling that from what I hear, you either love it or you hate it. I will probably be part of the camp that loves it. Now, for some reason, I remember my best friend Terry reading this book and her telling me about it, but she has an issue where she can't always remember things that well. She doesn't have the best memory. So, I'm thinking, did she actually read it, or does she just not remember that she read it and told me about it? Like, I'm now questioning myself. So, but actually, she's why I finally decided to buy it, because, I thought I remembered her reading this book and her telling me about it, but I'm not 100% sure. And she told me, and so I decided, she would probably really appreciate it if I bought it and read it. But I don't know. Like I said, I'm not sure if I remember, but I mean, who knows, maybe she'll, but then again, she might actually read it herself. If she doesn't remember reading it, then now she will. Okay, so I got 3 more books here. And this is another Beauty and the Beast retelling. I think this one is a series, because I think there is another book the author wrote. I think. Or maybe this is standalone. Maybe I'm getting mixed up with another book. But this is Hunted by Megan Spooner. Yeah, I remember my Murphy Napier, one of my favorite booktubers, had talked about reading this book, and she just fell in love with this book. So finally, I decided I need to get this book. So I used my Books A Million gift card that I got for Christmas, and decided to get this along with the 4 other books. I cannot wait to read this one. Definitely eager for it. So that's 2 retellings. So next, the last 2 books I have here are The Circle, which the movie just came out starring Emma Watson and Tom Hanks. And I'm told it's kind of like a story about a darker version of Facebook. I mean, they don't exactly say it like that, but it's the company, their internet site is kind of like, like a social network, like Facebook and stuff. And of course, there's something going on that is not good. And this woman who has joined the company is starting to get a little suspicion and suspect that something's not right at this company. So I want to read that one as well. And then eventually I would like to see the movie. But I don't know, I might have to wait until it comes out on Redbox, or I might just have to get it on DVD. But, now the last one I want to mention is A Separate Country. And I already bought the author's other book, The Widow of the South. This is Robert Hicks, author of The Widow of the South. I already bought it. I bought the hardback edition at the bookstore. As I was telling my mom today at lunch, the good news is this bookstore is for used books, so the prices are really low. So the hardbacks are like $4 or $5 there. So I was able to get the hardback. Since it was, and sometimes that's the only copy that they have. But this is the third book. I mean, not third book. This is his second book that he wrote about a famous General Hood, who is He has a controversial past. I don't know what he did during the Civil War, but he did something. And now he's trying to find a wife who will accept him for his past and what he did. So I'm wondering, it sounds like he might have done something like a Benedict Arnold cut or something. I don't know. But his wife accepts him and loves him no matter what. The woman that he marries. So yeah, I went in this one. I definitely want. Excuse me. Sorry about that. So yeah, this is the subject I want to read more about this, whether it's fiction or nonfiction. Okay, so those are all the books I'm thinking about bringing with me to South Carolina. And like I said, I did take off, War of the Roses, Bloodline. That's probably a book I'm not going to bring. I probably should narrow it down even more amongst these books, but I don't know. It'll be really hard. I might not bring The Rook, because I already have like 2 hardbacks that I'm bringing with me. But I might not bring it and just have it be the book that I'm going to read when I get back. But I don't know. It's so hard. I have a hard time making those kind of decisions. So anyway, thank you for listening, and I hope you liked hearing this. I hope you didn't find it too boring. And if so, please give it a thumbs up, and please subscribe if you haven't already. Bye.